Hi everyone, today I've got two MacBook Pros to unbox. 13-inch Intel and 13-inch M1. They're both space grey, slightly spec'd up these ones. The Intel one is the 2.3 gigahertz. It's got 16 gig of RAM and 512 storage. The M1 has also got 16 gig of RAM and 1 terabyte hard drive. So they're slightly spec'd up. The Intel one retail is, let me just check here, £2,199, and the M1 is £1,899. So, let's start with the Intel one. As you can see here, it's quite interesting to note that the pictures are different, just so you can easily see, I suppose, when they're in the shop. Anyway, so I'm just going to open this one. Done. Shove that there. There it is. This is how you're supposed to open it, obviously this way. Pull tab, get it out nice and easy. Just going to put this to one side. In the box, you've got standard stuff, documentation. So we have the quick start guide. Shove that there. Some guarantee, warranty information and regulatory information there, and two space grey Apple stickers. Then we've got the 3-pin, because UK 3-pin plug, earth, neutral and live. Then we've got the power brick, the 61 watt USB-C, and the USB-C to USB-C charging cable. That is pretty much it for that. And then there's the MacBook itself. Nicely there. MacBook, if I open it up this way, normally just boot straight up. I need to open the lid. There you go. Leave that there. Let's put that there. So, onto the M1. Everything's pretty much the same. Well, exactly the same actually, but we'll quickly do this anyway. There's that. In the box, look at the pull tab. With the MacBook there. Exactly the same inside. Documentation, all exactly the same. I'll get that anyway. Quick start guide. I don't think this is any different to this one. Quickly looking. There is a slight difference in the Intel one. Put that there. And open up the M1. There's a slight, the picture's different down there. This doesn't show that. Other than that, it's the same. Regulatory information, and the Apple stickers don't want to come out. There they are. Space grey ones. These both of these are space grey. 3-pin plug, the 61 watt USB-C power brick, and the USB-C to USB-C charging cable. All pretty much the same. MacBook. And same again. I'll do it this way. Open it up. Apple logo. Boot it up. So there we have it. The two 2020 13-inch MacBook Pros. M1 here, Intel here, and I do a few little tests on it to see which ones, how much they compare speed-wise. They're both exactly the same this way, looking at them. Screen's the same, the keyboard layout is the same, trackpad's exactly the same, there's no difference. Obviously on these newer ones, you've got the inverted T arrow keys, touch bar, touch ID, and these have the escape key obviously on this new, or the old butterfly keyboard, new, old. Anyway, yeah, so that's both them there. Lovely, very nice. The feel and quality of them is just wonderful. I've held loads of laptops and a lot of them are just plasticky. Obviously these are very, very well built, solid. They're quite heavy, but definitely not going to wear out too quickly. And they're weighted so well, so when you lift up the lid, the bottom stays down. Doesn't flip up. Hinge is perfect. The only downside with these that everyone's moaned about is the 720p camera. Still. Anywho, that is it. That is the unboxing. Just take them up like that. For a photo shoot finish. Done. Just going to quickly run through the specs on these two laptops, MacBooks. This, the M1, the base configuration is it's 8 core CPU and GPU on the MacBook Pro. That's what these are. They start with 8 gig of RAM and 256 hard drive SSD, and they start at £1,299. This one is upgraded, so it's got 16 gig of RAM and 1 terabyte of SSD. That puts it up to £1,899. So it's a bit of a jump, this one, but if you need the storage, the onboard storage, obviously you can't ever upgrade it, so it's good to get it, or get what you need when you buy it. Also with the RAM, some people say 8 gig isn't enough, so the 16 is probably what you want to go for, but it is £600 difference between the two, so it is quite a lot. The Intel one, the base Intel is a 2 GHz quad core i5 with a turbo boost up to 3.8 GHz. It has this particular model has 16 gig of RAM. The base of this model is 16 gig of RAM with 512 SSD, but this actual one has been upgraded to the 2.3 i7 quad core still, turbo boost up to 4.1. So I'm reading the specs here. This also 16 gig of RAM and 1 terabyte. And this puts this up to £2,199. So the difference of this over the base model is £400, but it's actually quite, the performance between these two, I think the M1 is much faster, but for the same spec machine, so both 16 gig with 1 terabyte, this is £1,899 and this is £2,199. For me, unless you need Intel chips for doing boot camp, why would you? Obviously you get 2 more ports, USB-C ports, but I think the M1 is definitely the way to go because it's cheaper and it's faster and it's going to be more future-proofed for you. So that was a quick rundown. Trying to think what else is different on these. There is one thing which I will get into, is when you go into the recovery mode, it's slightly different. On the Intel ones, when you turn them on, you hold down Command R and that boots into recovery mode. But on the M1, you just hold down the power button until it says keep holding the power button to get into startup options. And then you release it and then it goes into it that way. So it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to get into the recovery settings rather than Command R, just hold down the power button. So that's good. So yeah, that was a quick rundown of the specs. So very high spec machines, these ones. But I would definitely recommend the base ones for everyday usage. But I'll get into some more speed test comparisons later on. One thing I did forget to mention is that the M1 MacBook only has 2 USB-C ports, but the Intel one has 4. It's 2 this side and 2 that side. So, there we go.